Chemical restructuring, permanent waving, left side of head. You will now prepare your client for all chemical services that will be demonstrated for the remainder of this test. You will now demonstrate permanent waving. For this procedure, you will use at least 5 or more rods to complete the panel on the left side of the head. Protective cream, gel, and cotton coil will be used for this procedure. Both may be applied to the face area of the section or the entire block. Either is permissible. After the cotton has been applied, you will be prompted to demonstrate the application of waving lotion and will also be prompted to perform a test curl in your examiner's presence. You will use water from an applicator bottle to simulate permanent waving lotion. Upon completion, please step back to indicate that you are finished. Note, if your cotton coil is in place around a completed panel when the time allotment expires, you will still be allowed to apply lotion and perform the test curl in your examiner's presence. After your examiner has checked your procedure, please set up your supplies for the pin curl wave procedure. Then step back and quietly await for further instructions. You have 10 minutes to complete this procedure and you may now begin. So step 1, sanitize your hands. Then I start removing all of my items from my perm bag. Now we will remove our neck strip and throw our neck strip in our trash. We will replace that with a towel, the cape, and then another towel, which is our chemical draping for this permanent waving service. And for the second towel that I put on top of the cape, I wrap it around the mannequin's neck and then I just tuck it into itself around her neck. Now I start sectioning the hair and resaturating the area that I will be rolling my perm rods on. To fan out my end papers, I put a stack in my palm and then I use the top part of my tail comb to twist in a circular motion to help fan out the end papers. It makes it easier to pick up while I am wrapping. And then I'm using the perm rod to measure out the size of my section. So I'm just double checking the size of my subsection with my perm rod. And then I'm rolling all of these on base, so I am over directing up above 90 for each section. And this can be rolled all on base or all half off base. You just have to be consistent throughout the entire section. And here I am using a double flat wrap technique. I mist the section with a little bit of water to make sure the hair adheres to the papers. And then I pull up past the ends, making sure the ends are not converged, and roll down onto my base. So with this next section, I just repeat what I did, still maintaining a higher than 90 elevation. Make sure your ends are not converged. Make sure your band is not twisted and all are facing the same direction. So the open end is towards the face. It can be towards the face or away from the face as long as they're all consistent. Make sure as you apply, the bands are not twisted. And again, maintain consistent base rod relationship. And keep the tail comb in your hand as you work. And obviously I chose to use the purple or lavender rods. You could technically use the white or even gray rods, but those are a lot smaller, so you'd take out a lot more time than you would have to do this service. So after I rolled this last rod, I sanitized my hands because now I am going to put protective cream on the back of my hands. And I'm going to use that protective cream along the outer subsection of my perm rods. And if you had a different container for your protective cream, a spatula may have been needed. I used a squeezy bottle, so I did not need a spatula. And now I'm gonna wipe off that protective cream from my hand and start applying my gloves. And then I'll put my cotton around that entire subsection as well. So when I pick up my waving lotion bottle, I am going to open up the lid and remove that plastic that I had that was creating a barrier to help protect from leakage. I leave it on my station just in case I need it again. Then I'll also pick up my extra towel, and that's gonna help absorb any potential leaking that might occur during this process. And I start at the top. Make sure you are applying on top and below every rod. Using caution not to touch the hair, you're just applying the product above and below every rod. And for this technique, I have her head tilted the opposite way. That also helps some of the drippage. And then once everything's done, I put her right side back up. Now I'm doing a test curl. So I am unraveling 2 turns, and the examiner will ask what you're looking for. Your response should be an S-shaped pattern. Then roll it back up and step back to indicate that you are done. Then when you're cleaning up, you will remove your gloves, throw those away. Any of your dirty items go into your dirty bin. You can include the protective cream and your processing solution. You could technically throw those in the trash if you would like. If you have room in your dirty bin, you can put that as well. If you had some leftover processing solution, put that plastic back onto the lid, and that could go in your dirty bin too. Now we're taking out our pin curl bag because that is our next service.